that has to be delayed, because conversations with Serco carried out right up to the time the report was published, and in fact are still carrying out today, so I will happily make an exception. And
started to investigate the potential to improve this contract, and all options ranging from minor alterations to complete termination are being explored. The underlying principles being used to drive forward these discussions for the Council are that the contract continues to provide value to the Council, quality service provision and low risk in relation to service and delivery failure. The Council needs to plan this work to meet our medium-term financial strategy target, and the outcome may need to change to our 2015-16 budget envelope. Because of this and the nature and pace of these discussions, a decision may be required during the pre-election period. Because of these two factors, delegating authority is sought in this report for the Chief Executive, in consultation with the Leader of the Council and the portfolio holder for Central Services and Transformation, and opposition group leaders, to finalise agreements as needed. As members are aware, the Council has been under severe and continued pressure to reduce spending across all services to meet the reduced budgetary provision. The Council's priority has been to maintain crucial frontline services for residents and make the cuts in back office support and non-critical services, or deliver services differently to achieve cost savings. The annual cost of this contract is over 18 million for 2014-15. This represents about 17% of the Council's total revenue expenditure in 2014-15. Given this, it's only right that we ask officers to look very critically at this contract and ask them to advise on the best way forward. That said, I've proposed recommendations as written, and I know Councillor Gettle has some questions on this report.
I've addressed these to the leader, and something occurs to me. Councillor Holloway hasn't been promoted that far up yet. So if you're quite happy for Councillor Holloway to take the moment himself.
who do you want to answer them on?
John, whoever's best for the job.
You see, you can't make a decision, really.
I don't need to make this decision, that's what you're there for. Can the portfolio holder confirm that Serco's performance on the contract is accurate, please?
Councillor Holloway.
The Council have undertaken an audit of reported performance, and that the audit has identified areas of reported performance which cannot be verified by...
Given the publicity around Serco's other public service contracts, can the portfolio holder confirm that similar failings have not occurred in our contract to the best of her knowledge?
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Gettle. I'm afraid I can't confirm that. I know that there have been admitted failings which amount to a breach of the contract in some areas.
Moving on, can you confirm that we are getting value for money from our strategic partners?
Demands on local government to be transparent about every penny we spend have rightly grown over recent years. We publish all spends over £500,000 and put staffing salaries on our website. You will also be aware of the significant savings we've achieved and continue to need to going forward. Our partner has failed to provide us to date with the level of information we need for me to answer your questions. I know from the Chief Executive, for instance, that he's repeatedly requested staffing information from Serco which has not been provided. One has to ask, what has Serco got to hide? Is this the sort of behaviour we would expect from a strategic partner whom we pay almost £20 million every year?
We actually provide all expenditure from £1 upwards and refunds, which is above and beyond what we need to do, but it's really good. However, it does appear that nothing's changed in this contract since it was in my portfolio 5 years ago, other than the provider's name. And it's a bit of cold comfort, really, that I wasn't the only one banging my head against a brick wall and trying to get them to be more open and more honest, and residents actually see what they're paying £350 a year for. With that in mind, do you think it would be appropriate to put a report to the next full council for all members of questions on this service if we're not going to move forward, or perhaps if the leader would consent to perhaps increasing the amount of time to questions at that meeting, just to see if we can get some more answers, so we all know we're on the same page.
I completely agree with you. It's not acceptable that this has been going on for so long, and that I definitely think that all councillors deserve to discuss
review, that it would be useful in many ways to take something to council. What I'd want to avoid though is doing that if negotiations behind the scenes are at a stage where that might be counterproductive. So if we can take that as a kind of commitment in principle but not an absolute, then I think that would be helpful. It also, and I apologise to Victoria because I haven't had a chance to talk to her about this, it does strike me kind of listening to the bits about a bit about openness, that it might be worth us setting up a members' task and finish group on a cross-party basis to have a look and to review the open book information that's provided to the council by Serco. That would also allow members to call Serco managers to meetings and to hold them to account if we're unable to reach a mutually agreeable settlement. So I just think that I'll throw that in.
Just that. Yeah, thank you, Leah. Just that, obviously, a little note of caution in that obviously Serco are going to try and make things as favourable to themselves as possible. And I noticed that we would be liable for the voluntary termination payments, etc., should we decide to terminate the contract. So I would just like to say that, whilst the concern might be a way we could go down, I wouldn't like that to impact on the amount of money we spend and affecting services.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's something that we all hear. I think the starting point has to be that all options are still open and that we try to get what would be the best outcome for Thurrock and for the residents of Thurrock. If that is at one extreme terminating the contract, then we shouldn't be scared to do that if the price is right. But on the other hand, if Serco can come forward with changes that we are confident will lead to both improved services and to them actually delivering on the savings that they failed to deliver year on year, then I think we should be brave enough to say that that's a good outcome too. So I think you are right, we need to keep options open. It would be wrong to close any options down at this stage.
To say in regards to discussions around the member working group, I think the kind of point you made there in response to Councillor Snow about keeping options open and not closing down options. I think bringing members into the process, allowing them to see what goes on behind the closed doors that we've constantly banged our heads against is an important part of the process in driving forward positive change. That's positive change made with Serco. It may not be with Serco. This isn't some kind of attempt to arrive at a decision. It's an attempt to get to the bottom of an issue and to make sure that we get the best value, whatever that outcome is.
We establish a cross-party task and finish group to review the open book information provided to the council by Serco, and I think we'll look at the membership of that outside the meeting perhaps, but I would have thought it would be appropriate for group leaders, portfolio holder, shadow portfolio holder, at that
Even I think it's a really good idea and one you didn't have to run by me first, because I completely agree and echo what Councillor Spate said as well. So I'll move the recommendations plus the added recommendation on